Welcome to episode 2 of the Kiro Hackathon series, where I'm building something using Kiro every day for the entire hackathon period. So today we're going over subagents in Kiro. We're building a few subagents. We're building a subagent code review swarm that you can get. I'll link it here. So you can just go to my GitHub and copy it and also modify it to your own use case. And we're also going over a little bit about powers, Kiro Powers. We'll get in more to that tomorrow as well. We're just poking around, testing a little bit, building some subagents, and we're also learning that subagents in Kiro is very, very similar to subagents in Claude Code. So yeah, let's dig into it. We're going to be using the CLI a little bit more today. But yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of me reading documentation and stuff like that, of course, today, since I only spent 1 hour so far with Kiro. And today I'm doing my second hour. Just to recap a little bit, we're running a Kiro Hackathon, prize pool of $17,000. You can join the hackathon by just clicking this button. Everything will be down in the descriptions. You can see the yesterday's video. I'll link it up here. And yeah, let's dig in. So if I go to the CLI here, let's take a look at subagents first. So the idea, what I want to build here is a little bit of code review swarm. So like a couple of subagents to help me do code reviews on projects. And of course, I'll share everything with you. So let's dig in here. Subagent seems to work very similar to Claude Code, autonomous, core tool access, parallel execution, default general purpose task subagent exactly like Claude Code has. And we can create our own custom subagents. Perfect. We can invoke them in prompts, task assignment, exactly like Claude Code, own context, autonomous execution. So subagents is run in separate runtime environments. Some tools available in normal chat are not yet implementing subagents. Okay, this is good to know. Subagents can only read, write, shell, or MCP tool execute. So they cannot do web search and web fetch. So that is very good to know. We need to keep that in mind. And here they say use it for complex tasks, clear instructions, monitor progress, and review the result. I think we have a pretty good idea. Let's see if this, I thought, okay, it's the same documentation. No, this is different. So there's a different documentation in the CLI and in the IDE. It does seem to be the same feature, but here they also say that they have two built-in subagents, not only the general purpose one. So there's also a context gathering subagent. Interesting. Let's just do a quick test here because, so let's just do clear. Let's do Kiro-CLI. And let's just say, please use the general purpose subagent and the explore subagent. Send the explore subagent to explore the repository and send the general purpose subagent to just write a line into the README that says hello from Kiro. So nothing complicated here. We just really want to see what's happening here, how it looks like when we invoke these. Okay. We need to look into, okay, so here we see Kiro default. We can't see that it uses the explore agent, but I mean, I'm guessing that it's using the explore agent. Okay. Okay. So it's invoking these, but why can't I? Okay. Let's do it. Press Y. So it's use approval. So that's something that we should look into. I can look into that here while Kiro. What do I mean? Default? It's not default though. So autopilot we already know. That's what we have. It's not what I'm looking for. Let's go back to the docs. Let's see. Can we search in the docs? Skip permissions / tools trust all. Okay. Let's do this. Please explore the documentation on Kiro and look for to launch the CLI in skip permission mode, similar to Claude Code dangerously skip permissions mode. Okay, let's take a look at that. So we seem to be having some issues here with the video. Unfortunately, I cannot record myself right now because there is some issue with my camera. But to keep the time limit here, and I don't want to restart the recording, I'm just going to keep going. So I will, hopefully the camera will be fixed for tomorrow. Anyways, so we are running into some issues here related to Kiro. It seems like basically, yeah, it just seems to have had some issue responding. So please, I'm going to say, please try again. So now it at least finds something. It works. Okay, here we go. So now it's at least looking. In the meanwhile, we can also kind of keep looking here. Yeah, you can also specify permissions and start in the chat. That's what I want. So, okay, so it seems like we got the response here. So we want to say Kiro, CLI, chat, trust all tools. Trust all tools, trust all. Okay. Okay, so let's take this. Let's use this here. Let's slash quit. And let's use this flag. Then we don't have to worry about it getting stuck while I'm reading the docs. So that's perfect. So I'm going to open the IDE here. I think I might have it open still from yesterday. Let's see where we are here. Close this down a little bit. So we are not in the folder. Okay, let's go into this one. So as we could see as well before, we had something written. Please write hello from Kiro to the top of our main README. So it didn't seem to get saved because we did do this before. Okay, now it seems to be added. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to make sure that it actually works here. And okay, so now we want to say here, because now we want to start looking into the Subagent documentation again. I mean, we did read the documentation ourselves, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Where was it? Subagents. Wish I could just press a button to copy this, but I'm going to copy this. And I'm just going to say to please read this. And yeah, in the meanwhile, I'm just going to go to grab some of my, let's say, other, yeah. In the meanwhile, I'm just going to go grab some of the subagent prompts that I've been using in some other projects. So this is a project I'm developing here. Let's just use what we have. Agents, code reviewer. We have some error in the YAML here. Okay. But yeah, so we basically have a code review agent already. I'm going to take that and let's go to the CLI again. Yeah, so I kind of want to create basically agent swarm or a slash command or a at command, since it's Kiro here, that invokes chain of subagents that execute in parallel. So we are going to have a code reviewer agent. We're going to have a comment checker, comment analyzer. We're going to have basically an agent that checks for silent failures and a type design analyzer as well. So those are the core ones that we will have. The idea is that we will have a command that will run in Kiro that then parallelize the execution of these agents, and I want to be able to run it on a specific PR. That's the idea. So we should be able to give it an input as a basically say at review this PR and give it a PR number, something like that. We need to check if that is actually possible to do here in Kiro, because as I remember from yesterday reading the documentation that we might not be able to pass arguments to these. We need to figure out how we can actually get this to run in Kiro. So I'll paste some more documentation as well. But here is essentially the example flow. We can create some simple prompts for these just to test it out. So here I'm going to paste the example for the code reviewer agent, but I'm also going to give it my review command, which is review PR agents. So here example of the command starting agents. And also here is the command on, here is the documentation on commands from Kiro. So let's go grab that as well. Custom agents, okay. Okay, so this is actually what we would need. Yeah, I'm gonna give it this as well. And I know that we have this in Cole's starting template that he gave us yesterday, so I could just reference those files, but I feel like it's just quicker to do this since I don't know exactly what those file names are. Wait, okay, this is long. Let's see how it does with this. Examples. Okay, let's give it examples as well. And now also let's find that. And let's find that slash command documentation prompts. I'm just gonna take a look here. Examples, can I click that? Okay, no. Okay, let's give it here. Let's just let that think for a bit and see. It's not too hard to create these. What I think we might have some issue with is this. Yeah. Custom agent with Subagent orchestration, create a main PR review orchestrator agent that takes a few. Okay, that's a good approach. So instead of having the slash command started, we just have an PR review orchestrator started, which makes total sense. I like the first approach here. So let's, instead of having prompt invoke the workflow, let's have a subagent orchestrator invoke the workflow. So let's call it review orchestrator, and let's have that review orchestrator be the general purpose code reviewer. And then that guy also sends out the specialized agents for code smells, for documentation checking, type design, all of those things that we listed before. I can't remember in my head. We'll refine them later. So make sure that the prompts are not too complicated yet. Keep them quite simple, and then we can expand on them later. Okay, so here we go, review orchestrator. Let's take a look in Kiro here, how this looks like as well, because yeah, they get created here. Code reviewer agents, they're also being created in JSON format. So, okay, so we have a JSON prompt here. Okay, review orchestrator. Okay, so it actually didn't create this general purpose, so it created another general purpose. Okay, that's fine. Let's do this now. What I want you to do now is I want you to write some kind of simple application, let's say test CLI that just checks how many, yeah, something random, how many branches I have on my system. Please use UV and run it with UV run. So you should be able to run it too, right here. So one of the main issues I still have with the CLI here so far is that it's difficult to see where I write something and where the agent answers. I would like there to be some kind of differentiator a little bit between those texts. So it would, like when I scroll up, I want to see where my messages are if I want to kind of go back to something. Okay, so it seems to work. Let's test it ourselves as well. Yeah, exactly. This should work. There we go. This only counts on this project, but that's fine. Let's do, can you please create a PR for the branch counter? A bit of a confusing instruction here, but it's fine. So yeah, it's done here. Let's take a look. We have a PR. Okay, let's take a look at that. Let's now please review pull request number 1. Let's see if this now invokes our agents. You do have access to the GitHub CLI. Okay, so that's also annoying. It doesn't know that it has access to GitHub CLI. It did not seem to use, I can't be bothered to read that. So can you please check this run and analyze it? I'm not sure if this actually used our subagent system at all. What I also don't like about this is that it's basically, okay, yeah, so it did push that to and those agents. Well, that's fine. That's why it saw that message. I didn't think that was included in the PR, but it was. Okay. I guess let's try that. Let's quit because I think it might be because we're in the wrong directory here. CD. Let's continue here. Let's now do this again. Let's see. Okay, here we go. And now we can then ask this guy to please review the changes in PR1 using the subagents. I'm going to cd into here again. And I'm going to do the trust all. And let's just see. Please use the review orchestrator agent to review PR number 1. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, perfect. So I don't actually have to like manually swap to that. That's nice. So can we inspect? Oh, okay. So yeah, calling tool shell. So these should be the agents, the subagents, or I can want to scroll in that and see what's going on, but I can't really see what's going on in there, which is unfortunate. Did multiple, I'm gonna ask here, did multiple agents run or only one? Okay, so I couldn't write yet. Let's see, fix tool calls. Can I inspect? I kind of would want to inspect what happened inside of this. Can you confirm to me if the review orchestrator ran additional subagents? Okay, perfect. Now, okay. So what would be cool now to add is this, right? So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to tell this agent. So it seems like it's all working quite well. One thing that we want to add now is we want each agent to kind of synthesize their findings to the orchestrator agent. And then we want the orchestrator agent to post a comment into GitHub with a neat format, some metadata around what was reviewed, what was found, listing critical, high, medium, low issues, then also listing suggestions, what we should fix, if we should fix something right away or if we should merge and create issues and fix later. Options, we can maybe skip options for now for fixes, but yeah, so a nice report that synthesizes the results from all of the subagents. So now this seems to be all set up. Let's take a look again at this. We kind of want to quit again and let's start again. Yeah, I kind of want to add, I'm going to go back to this remote coding agent. And for here, I'm also going to use one more agent here that I really like to use, which is the code simplifier agent. So I'm going to use that as input because why create something new that we already have? Okay, this seems to work great now. So one thing that we want to create now is another subagent. This subagent is not part of the swarm, but it should be able to be ran independently. So we want to be able to run this type of agent on also on PRs or individual files. So basically we just want to invoke it basically by saying, please use the code simplifier agent to suggest simplifications on file or on PR or whatever the input might be. So this agent should not do any changes or fixes immediately. It should deeply investigate and look for opportunities to simplify, suggest options for simplification following the project's architecture. Then it should report its findings into either a file, we can call it, we can save it in .kiro/artifacts/simplification reviews folder so that we can kind of store everything there. And if it's a PR, if it's something on GitHub, an issue, whatever, then it saves it also as a comment on GitHub. It should be inspired by this, but you can rewrite the prompt. So just going to give that as input. If you want access to all of these, like they are all available publicly in different repos on my GitHub. And I also will, the things that we create here as well, I will publish, of course. So we have now comprehensive review, PR, we have medium priority issues, we have low priority strengths, recommendations, immediate actions, follow-up issues, and so on. Okay, great. So one thing that we haven't really done now yet is we haven't really quality checked these prompts. As I said to the agent, to create simple ones, like very, very simple prompts, which is fine for now, but let's do this. I will test it separately. That's fine. Thank you. What I want you to do now is that I want you to improve the prompts of the other agents. I'm going to give you some examples here of a system that I've been using successfully, so you can take inspiration from these. The important things to focus on is that what is each agent's focus? What should they focus on? What should they look for? Like in a general type of way, because they should be able to review anything. And we also need to think about the output, because when we think about subagents, we know that the subagent will send their report of their findings, the summary of their findings, to the orchestrator agent, and the orchestrator agent then will post a comment to GitHub. So the important thing here is that our agents, that we control the format of their output. So we need to control the format of each subagent's output towards the main agent. We want to make sure that each subagent includes the correct information to the orchestrator agent so that the orchestrator agent can create a good report for us. So we want to control the format of the output of the orchestrator agent as well. In order to achieve that, I will send you some example files here. Then please improve all of these prompts. Feel free also to improve the format of the orchestrator agent report. I also want the orchestrator agent report not only to be saved to GitHub, I also want it to be saved in Kiro, then /artifacts /code review reports. I'm just going to put it here so I can easily copy paste. Let's open up this again. I have my code reviewer here. Okay, so we're going to open this remote coding agent again. And I'm going to be using the agent prompts that I already have here. So we're going to take the code reviewer. So all I'm really doing is I'm copy pasting these into the Kiro CLI on another screen and the type design. Okay. So I'm sending those off, and in the meanwhile, what we want to do is let's go back to the other guy, which is here. Can you please address the issues that you found and push them to the PR? So we can just have that guy actually fix those so that we have some changes in between reviews. So this is what I mean by prompts being hard to read. I mean, try reading this in a nice way and try to like control this format. Like this is quite annoying, I would say. I much rather have a markdown file or like even a text file that I can import this from. Probably we can fix that, like write our own solution for that if nothing else. But at the moment, I'm not a fan of that format. I mean, I like that it's JSON in general, but I don't want my prompt to be written like that because I'm gonna have trouble reading that and editing that. We're gonna now test everything again. Okay, so now let's quit. And we're gonna do this again. And we're gonna say here, please use the code simplifier agent on PR number 1. So let's see if that works. So it actually says review and simplify the code. We didn't want it to actually make edits. So it's going to be interesting to see if it actually makes any edits here or if it actually follows our instruction. So it will save findings, hopefully. Okay, so it found some things. We're just going to tell it to please make the changes and push it to the PR. Okay, I mean, this is nice. I mean, it's maybe a little bit verbose, but quite cool. Okay, so the simplification review is done and we addressed the issues as well. So now we'll please run the code reviewer orchestrator agent on PR1. So now it will run the new orchestration system and hopefully then also save the new artifact that we wanted to save. Okay, so I mean, now we have an agent orchestration system set up that we can now reuse for any future PR that we make when we start our project. So right now I haven't started the project yet. So if you guys have any suggestions of what you want me to build in like upcoming days and weeks here, let me know down below. And I will yeah, decide on what to build probably tomorrow or on Thursday. But yeah, so one idea of what I want to build is actually something related to powers. I want to bring my Claude Code skill and my worktree skill to Kiro as well as a Kiro power. So that's something that we can look into tomorrow. But yeah, we can just test that it works now too, because we can do a couple of things here probably. So since we have, I'm just going to take this, since we have, we can just slash quit. We're not going to need that window anymore. I'm going to take this and I'm going to do cd, and here we're going to say Claude Code. And what we're going to do here is please open the config file of my work tree manager skill. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. We have a new artifact, code review. Hi, need changes, physical issues, error handling issues before merge. So yeah, some silent failures. Like, I mean, this is expected. We're going to delete this script. But now we have some nice helpers here that we can use for code reviews. We will, refine these prompts and stuff as we go along. But yeah, I'm just gonna then, before I end this, I'm gonna say, please now push that artifact as well to the PR, merge domain, merge to master. Okay. And okay, so all we need to do really here is if I do clip, okay, here, and if I do clipboard, history, and that one, save. Now, let's just say exit, code. Please use the worktree skill to launch a new worktree in this directory called test1. So what should happen here is that now, since we changed the config, the only thing that should happen really is that instead of launching this worktree in Claude Code, it should launch it in my ghosted terminal using this command, and it should launch it like in a new worktree. We'll see. If you are interested now, of course, you can now go to my GitHub and you can copy our review swarm, which will help you code review your projects. Feel free to modify the prompts to fit your use case. And yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so it worked, right? It launched Kiro for me, but it also launched a second terminal window. I'm not sure what's going on there. As you can see that we are in the work tree, but I don't know why this launched. It's fine. We don't have to look into that now. I'm going to say it all seems to work great. Can you please clean up the test work tree? Okay, perfect. I'm just going to change this back to Claude Code because I'm going to use it later. Perfect. So if you want to use the word tree manager skill, you can check it out in my GitHub as well. I'll link it. And yeah, but I think we can achieve exactly the same thing with Kiro Powers. So that's what I'm going to look into tomorrow. Let's just see here where we have this documentation. I think it's a little bit confusing when there is like duplicate documentation on the CLI and the IDE. Also, what is this Kiro autonomous agent? Okay. Okay, this is interesting. This we will also look into someday for sure. Sandboxes too. Interesting. This is like very similar to what I'm building at the moment, actually. Let's take a look here. So we have some powers we could use here. This seems quite to have some useful ones here out of the box, but we'll build our own. Build a power. So this is a build a power. This is cool. I guess this we could use this to build it. So yeah, okay, so it works exactly like skills. You can see it already, right? Instead of skills.md, it has power.md, then it has some steering documents, interactive, testing. Yeah, okay, cool. So we should be able to basically just copy paste our Claude Code skill straight over to Kiro and it should work. Okay, but that's all for today. I'm going to shut it down now. I'll see you tomorrow again for a walkthrough of Kiro Powers. We'll read some more documentation. We'll create a power. We'll create the work tree, manager power, and we might also decide tomorrow what we are going to build for the hackathon. So that's going to be exciting. And then through all of the rest of the episodes here, we're actually going to be building a real project. So looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you and see you later.